I also brought a couple of new poems for my friends. Some of you have heard these poems over and over and over again. Because Kim was in the Pacific University Low Residency Program. This was our friend David. So they've heard these poems a lot. But I'll just read the opening poem. This is the Book of Men, and the poems are about men, all kinds of men. The first one is about a staff sergeant, and there's a poem about a slacker, there's a poem about Mick Jagger, there's a poem about Superman, monks, homicide detective, Bob Dylan, the Beatles, you name it, you know, young adolescent boys. So lots of different men. But this particular man I saw when I was taking a plane from Spokane back home, and he was standing in the airport ready to ship out to Iraq. And so every night when we watch the McNeil-Lair News Hour, we watch for his name, which I noticed on his little badge, Staff Sergeant Metz. Metz is alive for now, standing in line at the airport Starbucks in his camo gear and buzz cut, his beautiful new camel-colored suede boots. His hands are thick-veined. The good blood still flows through, given an extra surge when he slurps his latte, a fleck of foam caught on his bottom lip. I can see into the canal in his right ear, a narrow darkness spiraling deep inside his head, toward the place of dreaming and fractions, ponds of quiet thought. In the 60s, my brother left for Vietnam, a war no one understood, and I hated him for it. When my boyfriend was drafted, I made a vow to write a letter every day, and then broke it. I was a girl torn between love and the idea of love. I burned their letters in the metal trash bin behind the broken fence. It was the summer of love, and I wore nothing under my cotton vest, my Mexican skirt. I see Metz later, outside baggage claim, hunched over a cigarette, mumbling into his cell phone. He's more real to me now than my brother was to me then. His big eyes darting from car to car as they pass. I watch him breathe into his hands. I don't believe in anything anymore. God, country, money, or love. All that matters to me now is his life. The body so perfectly made, mysterious in its workings, its oiled and moving parts. The whole of him standing up and raising one arm to hail a bus, his legs pulling him forward, all muscle and sinew and living gristle, the countless bones of his foot trapped in his boot, stepping off the red curb. Another man, Mick Jagger, different mode. This is Mick Jagger World Tour 2008. He stands on stage after spotlit stage, yowling with his rubber mouth. If you turn off the sound, he's a ruminating bovine, a baby's face tasting his first sour orange or spitting spooned oatmeal out. Rugose cheeks and beef jerky jowls, shrubby hair waxed, roughed up, arms slung domeward, twisted branches of a tough tree, knees stomping high as his sunken chest. Oddities aside, he's a hybrid of stamina and slouch, tummy pooch, pouches under his famous invasive rolling eyes. He flutters like the pages of a dirty book, doing the sombrero dance, rocking the microphone's round Blackfoot, one hand gripping the skinny metal rod, the other pumping its victory fist like he's flushing a chain toilet. Old as the moon and sleek as a puma circling the herd, the vein in his forehead pops. His hands drop into fists. He bows like a beggar, then rises like a monarch. Sir Mick, our bony ruler. Jagger, slumping off stage, shining with sweat. Oh, please, don't die. Not now, not ever, not yet. And superheroes, this is Superman, except at this point Superman has cancer and he's smoking medicinal marijuana. Superman. Superman sits on a tall building, smoking pot, holding the white plumes in, palliative for the cancerous green glow spreading its tentacles beneath his blue uniform, his paraffin skin. The pot also calms him, so he can look down through the leafy crowns of the trees of heaven to patches of black asphalt where a small dog chained to a grate raises his leg against a sapling. It's 2010, and the doctors have given him another year in Metropolis, another year in paradise when he's high, another year in hell when he's not. A magazine falls from his lap. Lois on the cover of Fortune, the planets aligned behind her, starlight glancing off her steely, upswept hair. He lifts his head from his hands as the sun sets. The sound of muffled gunfire in every city of the world ricochets through his gray brain. He'll take care of it tomorrow. The thankless, endless task of catching dirty bombs and bullets. Though like the dishes piling up in the sink, there are always more. 365 dark days left to try to gather them all, tunnel through to the Earth's core and bury them there. But for now, he leans his wide back against the stove-hot bricks and stretches each long blue leg. Blissfully stoned, he doesn't notice when his heel clips the chipped wing of a granite angel. Can't feel the kryptonite bending its rays up toward his scarlet heart. So I wrote that poem many years ago, and at that time it seemed like 2010 was a long ways away. But I thought I would read a poem for so what's going on in Japan. I mean, this was written long before that, but many of us grew up during the nuclear arms race, and so we remember hiding under our desks whenever there was a threat of attack or whenever we had the practice alarms. And so this is a poem that came out about that time, that I wrote about that time. It's called Ant Farm. How many people don't know what an ant farm is? Everybody knows, right? You know what an ant farm is. We saved our money and sent away for it. The red plastic frame, the clear plastic maze, packaged sand siphoned into a slot, then freed the ants into their new lives, little machines of desire. Watch them carry the white grains and breadcrumbs, zested flakes of tangerine peel, odds and ends we thought our ants might like, late into the night beneath a table lamp. Sweet dynasty. We bent our queenly 10-year-old heads over their busy industry in 1962. Uncle Milton's personal note of thanks unfolded on the floor, while underground the first nuclear warhead was being released from the Polaris submarine, and Christmas Island shook, shrouded in a fine radioactive mist. And our mother sang her apocalyptic gospel to anyone who'd listen. The Navy housing's gravel lots shimmering with each sonic boom. Began a savings account for a fallout shelter she said she knew we couldn't possibly afford. The poor will die, she told us. Who cares about us peasants? To them, we're only workers, dependable, expendable, and then thrust her middle finger up into the oniony kitchen air. The ants died soon after. One by shriveled one, then in clumps. They looked like spiders with all their legs and antennae sticking crookedly out from a pea-sized knot of ruined bodies. She was reading Failsafe between loads of laundry, and we were reading Uncle Milton's cheerful instructions. Some questions have no answers. That night, we listened to the silence occupy our room. We slept together in one bed, heel to heel, head to head. We tunneled deep beneath the covers and waited for the light. And, pardon? Let me read this one for David Cousins. This is called, it's called Death of the Mother. David and I probably share this in common now. And it's written after a holy sonnet, one of Don's holy sonnets, number 5. And I basically take his rhyming words from his sonnet and use the same rhyming words to end my sonnet. And I have a little epigraph. The first 2 lines from his holy sonnet, number 5, are, "At the round earth's imagined corners, blow your trumpets, angels, and arise, arise. At day's end, last sight, sound, smell, and touch, blow your final breath into the hospital's disinfected air. Rise from your bed, mother of 8, the blue scars of infinity lacing your belly, your fractious hair and bony knees, and go where we can never find you, where we can never overthrow your lust for order, your love of chaos, your tyrannies of despair, your can of beer. Cast down your nightshade eyes and float through the quiet, your nightgown wrapped like woe around your shredded soul, your cavernous heart, that space you left us like a gift. Brittle staircase of ifs we are bound to climb too often and too late. Unleash us. Let your grace breathe over us in silence when we can bear it, ground as we are into your loss. You taught us how to glean the good from anything, pardon anyone, even you, awash as we are in your blood.